Hello, Team Easy Dating. I am so pumped up for today's interview. We've got one of my favorite people that I've known for a long time. Better yet, she's even from New Jersey. Camille, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Mike, for having me. And likewise, my New Jersey partner, my New Jersey love coach.
Now we're talking. And guys, make sure you stick around and watch this whole video. At the end, we are giving away an amazing free gift, but you're only going to get this thing if you tough it out. So hopefully you guys really enjoy this one. All right, Camille, let's get to it. We got to help some people out here.
Sure.
So obviously, there's a lot of really smart, beautiful, successful women out there that are freaking single. What is going on? Why are they single?
You know, my philosophy is that, there's so many women who are single because they have not. There's a couple of reasons. One, they have not done their inner work, is what I truly believe. And that inner work that really helps them to be whole and healthy from the inside out, right? A lot of times, with our society, we're taught to get our education, make our money, get our hair done, look beautiful, look fly, and all of that. And that's what we focus on, but we forget to focus on the inside. And so we're so busy wearing our mask and, trying to fake it and fluff and stuff. And instead of really healing from the inside out, really dealing with any little girl issues. And then the other thing is really start to activate our feminine energy. A lot of us are living in our masculine energy. And because of those two primary things, I really think it causes a lot of us to be single way longer than we need to. And if we could just do that work and activate our femininity, what man wouldn't want you?
That's what I'm saying. All right. I don't talk about this enough. So let's talk about masculine energy. So what the heck are women doing that they're on their masculine, and why is this turning off men?
Let's see. This goes way back to the war days, right? So, I think that we have stepped into a male-dominant work environment, right? Even years back, we had to go out into that work environment when men were out to war, right? And then men came back and we were still enjoying the work environment. And then we started to want equality. And it just grew and grew and grew there. So we, instead of focusing on our feminine role, which seems pretty old fashioned for a lot of people, we focus a lot on this equality stuff. And there's nothing wrong with women's lib and wanting equal rights and equal pay and, all of that type of stuff. So I'm not against all of that type of stuff. We work hard, we deserve it, but it has its place, right? What happens is that the same type of energy and vigor that we use to be successful in the work world, we try to use that same type of energy and vigor and power and masculine energy in our relationships, and it really doesn't work. And I truly believe I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God, and I believe that He is the institutor or creator of marriage, right? And I believe that He created us to each function in our own row, in our own lane, and have our own roles in relationship. And when we cross that, when a woman tries to be the man and take the lead and overpower him and not be willing and open to allow him to be the man, it causes a lot of confusion because there can't be two heads. There can't be two leaders. There can't be two men, right? And so I often say she needs to put her penis away and let him use his and be the man.
Yeah, you got that right. Absolutely. Hold on. We got to help everybody out, Camille. All right, let's pretend we're on a date, right?
Uh-huh.
And I need women to understand what this masculine energy thing is. So give me an example of what a woman could do on a date that is super masculine, and me as the man, I'm going to go like, ah! Oh, I can't, I got to go.
Let's start before the date, right? So
okay.
What happens, what I find, especially with a lot of the women that I work with, is that a man asks her out on a date, right? And what does she do right away? First of all, sometimes she doesn't even wait for him to ask her. She asks him, right, for his number. She asks him out for a date. And when he does ask her for a date, she ends up wanting to plan the whole thing, right? She wants to control where they're going to go, what they're going to eat, blah, 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 instead of allowing him to be a man and make the plans. I think this is where a lot of women make their biggest mistake, because a lot of times they feel like, oh, he doesn't want to plan. He didn't know what to do. And so I just planned the whole date. But what you miss is that, first of all, he who makes the first move, whether it's a he or she, is the masculine one in a relationship. And when she doesn't allow him to make the plan, she doesn't allow him to start out by being a man in that relationship. And she really does herself a disservice, because she doesn't ever get to feel or know what he would plan for her, because she's planned the whole date, and she's, selected the restaurant, and she's done all of that, did all the research, instead of letting him do that. And so what I encourage, and so to me, wouldn't that be a turnoff if she just, you said you're going on a date, right? So does she plan a date, or did you plan a date?
You're so spot on. This actually happened to me pretty recently. I was like, I said, so what are you doing this Sunday? And the woman said, let's meet at 1 p.m. at Cola Coffee, and then sent me the Google Maps. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even know. I'm not free at 1. And second, like, you took my job. Like, I want to be the man. And like, if we go to a good spot, when I want to get my appreciation where it's like, wow, this place is great. Like, this coffee is so good, or this whatever. Like, the coffee is fabulous, and it's such a cool venue. Like, great choice. And it was an easy drive for me. Like, I didn't get my man credit for picking out the good spot. So I wasn't feeling it at all.
Right. So you should have told her to put her penis away.
I didn't know how to do that without being mean. So it was like, it was tough.
You know what? Sometimes they just need to know to, stop trying to be the man and allow your man to be the man. Because a better approach is when a guy asks you or shows interest in you. I always like to encourage women to, let him ask you, where you want to go. And when he says, hey, where do you want to go? What do you want to eat? Or what do you like? Then you have a big opportunity to say, I have a taste for some seafood tonight. I've been wanting some shrimps, lobster tail, or, and a nice glass of wine. And then it gives him an opportunity to say, okay, she likes wine, she wants seafood. Let me see what seafood kind of restaurant with great wine that I can take her to. And then when he plans that, number one, he feels amazing, once you get there, and if you're impressed, right? And then you're impressed, right? Because he's gone through the effort to make you happy and plan this date. And it just works out, because now you're impressed. You're like, oh my gosh, he really planned this. This is a great, amazing place. And then when you're telling the guy, wow, this is an amazing place. I love the jazz or the piano over there. The wine is fabulous. The atmosphere, the background music is great. The company is wonderful. The guy can be his chest, and he's feeling excited, and he's ready. That's the simple hook to get to date number 2, is let him plan, be excited, let him know that he did a good job and how great and amazing even saying the restaurant is. That does so much to stroke a man's ego. He'll feel like he owns the restaurant. He cooked the food, because he would feel so amazing. And I don't think we do that enough. And we miss those little things that could really go far in a date. We're so focused on controlling, or our hair and our makeup, and everything else phony, instead of and just taking pictures for social media, instead of just really making a real life connection. You being the woman, just sit back and be in your feminine energy, and allow him to be in his masculine energy. And that synergy goes a long way for building a relationship.
Oh, I love that. I actually teach that almost exact same thing. But But you know what I really love? And I want everyone to really capture this. This is what you said. And this is like super extra credit. This is like so advanced. And I really want to highlight this. At some point, the guy is going to say, you know, what restaurant do you want to go to? Or what do you want to do? And don't fall in the trap of being like, well, I want to go to, let's just say Red Lobster. But what you said was you like, I want shrimp and I like wine. Mm-hmm. And if he then proceeds to go like Red Lobster or, you know, wherever it ends up being that serves shrimp, he still got the credit of being the man and picking. But don't fall in the trap of taking his job and picking the restaurant. But it's wonderful and it's amazing when you tell him what you do want, which is the shrimp and the wine. And now he can go out there and be like, I'm going to find the greatest shrimp and the best wine in this entire city. We are going to go to the best place. This, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what happens too, Mike, is that you were spot on. What happens is that the woman, she might say, I want Red Lobster because I want shrimp and wine. But he might be thinking McCormick and Smith, right? Or Ruth Chris, right? So don't spend his money for him because you might think that you're just going to get Red Lobster, but he might want to take you away for the weekend to a restaurant in Milan for some shrimp and some wine. You don't know what he wants to do. So you just tell him what you like and then allow him to use his imagination, because this also sets the precedence. It lays the groundwork for him to really start to show you how he's going to treat you and how he's listening and paying attention to your wants and your needs and your desires and what will put a smile on your face.
Absolutely. And finally, like, we've got that amazing, successful woman that at work is getting stuff done. And finally, she can take her shoes off, put her feet up, and the man is going to take care of her. Mm-hmm. And she's not going to have to spend all this time researching. Forget that. Let him do it.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on. I think we beat this one up. All right, one of your taglines, and I love this, is get your mind right to get your man.
Yes.
What the heck does that mean?
It means exactly what it says, sister. You
okay.
need to get your mind right. And again, it goes back to what we were just talking about, how we think, right? Because we are so impacted by the world and the way things are today. And, you know, and like I said, I have nothing against the women's movement and the powerful woman and the year of the woman, and all that is great. But when it comes to being in a relationship, no matter how great and amazing we are at work, you know, in the Congress or wherever, at Walmart, working, running the company, it doesn't matter how great we are in those places. What matters in our personal lives is how we show up in our relationships. And the bottom line is that a woman has to be able to receive love, again, and be in her feminine, and she has to allow the gentleman to be able to give love, to protect, provide, and profess his love for her. And if we don't get our minds right and wrapped around that, we won't be in a healthy relationship, right? And again, a lot of times we can't get to that point because we have so much junk from our childhood that we haven't dealt with. So again, you need to get your mind right so you can get your man if you want to have a healthy, lasting relationship.
And like, do you think that means like happy, bubbly is feminine? Or like, how would you describe feminine, like on a date? Like, how should she behave?
I think that she should behave like herself, right?
Okay.
I'm just a weird, crazy, out there chick, right? And so I'm just me. I think she should be herself. I think however you are is however you should be. Being in your feminine doesn't mean that you get to act phony. It means that you are yourself. If you snort when you laugh, do that. If you give a big belly laugh and you're like, oh my gosh, do that. If you're a little quirky, got some quirky habits, you know, do that. You know, if you're hungry, eat all of your food. Don't pick up the food. Eat, right? Just be yourself. I think is the first lesson in being feminine. Now, if you don't know how to act like a lady, that's a different conversation, because there are things that we as ladies do, but you can still be yourself. And I think that is super important for a lady to act like herself. Now, again, when you're out to dinner, you want to make sure you keep eye contact. You want to make sure you're sitting up. You want to make sure your clothes, your bra, all of that stuff is on point. That helps with being feminine. Nobody wants to see any droopy boobs. So, make sure your clothes fit you properly. Being feminine on a date doesn't mean that you have to wear your have all your cleavage out, or your dress showing, your G-string or whatever. That's not feminine, right? That's kind of slutty, right? But have some class with you, right? And when you're talking, interact, be present, right? Turn your phone off and be present in the moment. Don't worry about what's going on in social media. Worry about this fabulous man who took the time to take you to an amazing place, and show him how much you're enjoying him, and see how much you can truly connect. I think that's when you're in your femininity the most. We're going to all do our hair, put our lashes on and stuff like that. That's cute. It's appealing. It's nice. It should be done. You should always live your best life, come out looking beautiful. But that in itself is not feminine, right? And you don't have to be a size 2 to be feminine, right? It's how you connect, how you're able to receive that guy, laugh at his jokes, pay attention to what he's doing, appreciate the date, and show gratitude and be gracious about what's going on with you and this gentleman in the relationship. I think those things are more important than just coming out looking like a hoochie mama.
Yeah, I mean, I love this. And like, this is amazing. Like, we always talk about how men are so visual, and it's 100% spot on. So when he gets there, he immediately goes like, she's hot, she's not. But
Right.
That's like the real tip of the iceberg. Like, if he's looking for something serious, which everyone watching this is looking for something serious, he's got to connect with you. He's got to vibe with you. And that's going to come from the things you talked about, the eye contact, the asking questions, the telling short stories, the getting to know each other. That's the meat and potatoes that is really going to get you somewhere. We're not in our teen years. We're not in our early 20s where a pretty face meant, we're going to go on 3 dates with her plus. Mm-hmm. There's got to be connection. There's got to be something to grab onto. There's got to be similarities. There's got to be the same values. There's got to be interest in what the woman's putting out there. So I love that.
Absolutely.
All right, Camille, I've been dying to ask you this question. When you sent me this one, I was like, oh, man, I can't wait to ask this one. All right, so we know that out there, women are picking the wrong guys. And I can't tell you how many prospective clients I talk to where they're telling me about the guy, and they've got their 10-minute story, and I'm about 45 seconds in, and I already were like, that's the wrong dude. It's not going to work. So how can women break this cycle? Because I, as a coach, am dealing with this all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What I find is that women spend a lot of time dating their ideal. They're dating the guy they think they're supposed to date. They're checking off their lists. And that's how they're really going about dating. He fits the bill. He's handsome. He's muscular. He has on a nice suit. He drives a nice car. And all of those things are great. And we all want our man to have those things. But what we have to come to realize, especially the older we get, is that those things are not the most critical thing. What's the most critical thing is what you were saying just a minute ago, how you vibe, how you connect. And a lot of times we don't pay attention to that because, first of all, most of us haven't had a date in a long time. It's been a long time. So we're just excited to go on a date. And then, we're just so excited that someone is paying attention to us. And then just a little thing he does, we're like, oh my gosh, we make a big deal out of it. And what I think sometimes happens is that we lean in too much too soon, too fast, too soon. And then we get physical too quickly. Women don't realize, and I've written many blogs and taught many classes on this, is what they don't realize is that once you kiss, you're swapping, you create oxytocin. It starts firing off in your body. And oxytocin is the cuddle gene, and it's what bonds mom and baby. So that's a powerful chemical in our body. And then once you have sex with a guy, even if it's a one-night stand the first night, and you have an orgasm, ladies, what fires off in your body is dopamine. Okay, you know how many people are addicted to dope? It's real, and we produce that chemical when we have an orgasm. So even if the guy is not even that great, if you have an orgasm with him, you can really become chemically addicted to him. And so you want to really, I try to encourage women to be slow about swapping spit, slow about having sex, because I mean, once you become chemically addicted, what happens to drug addicts, right? They're not using their head much, and the relationship doesn't make sense. The guy doesn't make sense, but you're in this relationship or situationship and you don't really know how to get out because you've already gone further than you should have in a short period of time. And so I encourage you to just wait and not date your ideal. Realize that dating is about you. It's about who you are, what you need, and if he is a guy that can fulfill that. And it's also vice versa. What type of man is he? And if he's serious, he's going to be looking at a woman to see, is this the type of woman I need to complement me, to be on my arm, to support me, to help me become a better man? And so when we date the right way, we can build a relationship the right way. And then we have less of this dating the wrong type of man and more meaningful relationships, creating more connections, and then having less regrets.
Whoa. I love that. I love how you related it to drugs. That made it very real to me and very easy to understand. That's the best I've ever heard of that explanation. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I need to put this into practice, though. Like, all right, we get the whole no sex monogamy thing. We've heard that a million times. But really what I'm interested in, and I've never heard anyone really talk about, is when that kiss can happen and should happen. So, and I get it, it's gray, but what date do you think, the first kiss you should be going for?
It is super gray.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I'm hesitating, because people are going to think I'm nuts when I say this.
Yeah.
I was friends with my husband for 11 months, meaning that I guess we were dating. We went out to dinner. We went out to a movie. We went out to concerts. We went to parties together. But during that time, I guess for neither one of us, it was really important for us to say we were dating and a couple. Now, probably to the rest of the world, because we showed up together all the time, we were dating. But during that whole 11 months, I never kissed him. I never, ever kissed him.
Did he try?
No.
He didn't try in 11 months?
He didn't try.
Come on.
We literally, this is just our story, right? Everybody has their own story. This is just how it worked out for us.
Yeah.
Now, and it just didn't happen. And it's not that he's super handsome. He's super attractive. And I don't know why I took my picture down. I usually have a picture of us there. But, it just didn't happen for whatever reason. We were just in the zone of being friends, hanging out, and just living our lives and having a great time. And I just wasn't at the point where I wanted to kiss him. He never tried to kiss me. And it was not a thing. It wasn't a problem. Now, was there buildup? Yes. Eventually, although it may have taken almost 11 months, we finally went out and we did kiss. And at that point, we realized our relationship was changing. And then we had a conversation about where is this going, because we knew something was different, because we were kind of buddies hanging out. We knew we were dating. He paid, we did all the right things. He picked me up. He drove, opened the car door. It was like a date, but it was not, we didn't have sex and we weren't kissing for 11 months. And so when we kissed, we knew it was different. So I encourage women, you have to do your own thing. Sometimes that kiss may never come. And I didn't know that, he was really going to be my guy, because I guess I didn't really look at him as, wow, this is going to be my man. Yeah. I just was enjoying the moment and the date and having fun and dancing and doing our thing and going to concert. And I wasn't pressed by saying, hey, are you my man, or am I your girl? We're dating, or what are we doing? Neither one of us was pressed. We didn't even realize 11 months had passed. We were just enjoying each other. And so I tell that story because it's true. And also because I lived in California and I was afraid of kissing anybody because herpes is so prevalent. And I don't have it. No shade to anybody who does. I know they got medicine. You can live with it and have whatever. But I just don't have it, and I didn't want it. So I'm just not that type of person that goes around kissing everybody anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't want those kind of diseases. So that's my reason why I didn't do it.
But here's my takeaway, right? Mm-hmm. This is what I want the women to get from that story. Is this guy who I'm sure loves to have sex and loves to kiss women. He loves sex. What?
And does it well.
Exactly. All right. So this dude, like the rest of us men, loves having sex, loves kissing women, but he was so enamored by you, he probably didn't care. He was like, I'm having fun. I am freaking having fun, probably more fun than I've ever had. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep going out with her. I'm going to keep hanging out. And that's what I've been preaching for like years, is when the dude likes you, he'll have sex when sex happens because he's just happy and he's having fun. And with all the other women he's been with, he's not having as much fun, and he probably doesn't want to do 11 months or whatever. But men are pumped up when they find that woman where there's a real connection, and he's going to wait however long it takes. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was true. And I mean, and eventually happened, you know, we both had a little drink, went out dancing, and it happened. And like I said, it then moved. So I encourage you, don't rush. I mean, getting a kiss is not the thing that you need to rush into. Oh, I didn't get a kiss tonight. He didn't hug me. He didn't hit my butt. He didn't, try to touch me, take me to bed, invite me upstairs. That's okay. I mean, I always say, just like Mike just said, if a man, when a man meets you, he knows if he wants to have you as his wife or just one night. So this man obviously knew he wanted to marry me. I wasn't sure that I wanted to marry him, but he knew from the beginning. And like Mike said, he was willing to wait. He wasn't in a rush. He felt like he knew he was playing his cards. He was dealing them slow. As a matter of fact, from the day I met him in August, he actually didn't even call me or ask me out until like January or February. I mean, he was very slow in his process because he had been officially single for 17 years. I'm sure he was seeing people, but he wasn't in a committed relationship. And he wasn't in a rush to, rush into anything. And when he met me, I guess he thought I was the one, and he wanted to take it slow. And so he did. He wasn't pressed. I wasn't pressed. He's very handsome. I felt like I was good looking, and things will happen. So don't rush into a kiss, ladies, because for you, it's worse for you than it is for him. Men are not going to get hung up on oxytocin. No. Men are not going to get caught up on dopamine. You are. And so you need to slow your roll, be patient, enjoy him treating you nice, taking you out. Isn't that what it's all about? Getting to know each other without having that chemical addiction, getting in the way, blocking your mental, your thought process.
All right. Last question. And I just want a 2-minute answer. Then we got to run.
All right.
But what do you think is the number one dating turnoff for men?
I think from what I've seen and heard from the men that I've interviewed and researched, during writing my book and my programs, again, I think it's women that are in their masculine energy, women who don't know how to receive love and allow him to be the man. I think, to me, that's the biggest turnoff for a woman who won't allow a man to be himself. Let him put his hand down his pants and sit and watch the football game if he wants to. Let him do his thing. And don't complain and don't criticize. Just allow him to be him, because you want him to allow you to be you. And so when you don't do that, you can really turn a man off, because he's not looking for a mother. He's not looking for you to correct him or change him. He's looking to build and grow.
Yeah, and that's the exact opposite. So he wants to be accepted for what he is, but then like a really great relationship is like elevating, where he's becoming a better version of him. But the opposite, when you got that like super masculine woman, is like there's competition, and then he's like brought lowered because he's like, oh, I don't want to compete with her. I compete with men all day for a higher salary in sports. And when I come home to my woman, like I just want to be loved and elevated.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So that was spot on. All right, Camille and everybody, I promised you a free gift from this wonderful woman that has educated us. Camille, what do you got for us?
Okay, so hopefully I get this right, but you're going to get the right link regardless.
I got them.
So the program I have is going to be a 3-module program, and then plus I always offer women a free discovery session with me. But how to stop dating the wrong type of men so you can attract your Mr. Right. That's going to be the gist of the free gift that you're going to get. Don't remember the name of the link right now, but you're going to get the right link.
Yeah, don't worry. Guys, I got you. So the link that she's talking about, once we get it sorted, which we will very soon, no problem, I'm going to put it down there. Don't worry, we got weeks before this airs. Yeah. So, but you guys are watching now. Anyway, I will pop it down there. Guys, get your hands on it. Camille's a genius, obviously. And please get your hands on this. You don't know how many women I'm talking to that are just dating the wrong guys. And exactly to her point, what she said earlier is the oxytocin, the dopamine. And they just fall for this guy. And then what they're doing is they're evaluating the man who's got the car, got the job, got the nice house, maybe got the good family. But what we don't evaluate the man, evaluate the relationship. Is he treating you well? Is he coming after you? Is he taking you on dates? Is he showing up? Is he there for you? Evaluate the relationship. And anyway, she's going to give you way more tools than what I just gave you. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, Camille, you're a legend. Thank you for joining us. And guys, we will see you for our next video every Tuesday. And don't forget, get down there, subscribe. You could be watching these every single week. So get down there, hit the subscribe button, hit like. And what questions do you have for us? I'm going to shoot Camille the link. So if you have questions for her, I got you. You've got questions for me, I'm going to be checking this thing. Guys, I want to interact. I want to have some fun. I'm ready to answer some questions. All right, guys. Love all of you. We'll see you next week. Camille, thank you.
Bye. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Mike.